To start this faux freckle journey, I figured I would go ahead and show you guys what naturally I'm already working with on my skin, being that I do have light freckles already. So this is the first product that I'll be testing for you guys. It is the Wet n Wild Mega Liner, and I got it for $2.99 at Walmart. So opening it up, I see that the brush is really tiny, but as you can see by that big dot on my nose, if you use too much pressure, you can get a really big dot. And so using my finger to transfer the small dots really worked well, but once I got onto that big glop, it just transferred in like smears, so it wasn't great on that side. So here I am just carrying the dots up forward onto my forehead and dispersing them with my finger. I'm being very mindful of the pressure that I'm using and which side of the brush that I'm using so that I get the finest points possible. Overall, I do really like this product. You just have to be mindful about how you're applying it so that it looks its best. The only reason that this side looks better than the other side is because of how precise I was being. Our next product is the Felt Tip Eyeliner in Brown by Wet n Wild, and I got this for $3.99 at Walmart. So right off the bat, this one is a lot more user-friendly, being that it's a lot harder to get those glops than it was with the brush on the last product. So I really like how fine the freckles are with this, and that it really just allows you to get a different darkness with each one depending on your pressure, so it makes them look really natural. And now I'm just going to carry them down to my chin and all over the face so that it looks as dispersed and naturally placed as possible. And instead of a finger, you can also use a beauty blender to do this, but be mindful that it will transfer to your beauty blender, so if you use that same sponge for foundation, it will have brown spots in your foundation. The next product that we'll be using is the Ultra Liner by Maybelline, and a plus for this one is that it's waterproof, so that's really great for faux freckles. This brush is very similar to the one in the Mega Liner by Wet n Wild, but it is a little more expensive. And so you can already see that I'm getting those globs because I wasn't being very precise with the pressure, but I think that this does transfer better than the Wet n Wild because it's more wet. The other one was like almost like a marker. It just wasn't very saturated with the brown liquid. Overall, I really do like this product because it is so saturated that it is easily transferable, and it allows you to get small dots as well as larger ones for a different look. The next method that we'll be using is the cheapest of them all. It is a $1 Rexall toothbrush from Dollar General, but what I'm doing is I'm using this in addition with a dark brown foundation in order to kind of splatter them on my face. So in terms of what foundation to use for your freckles, if going this route, I just got a dark brown foundation that was in my makeup kit from clients with different skin tones, and so this one, it's by Black Radiance, and I'm not sure of the shade. It might be Espresso, but basically I would just get any liquid foundation. It could be as cheap or as expensive as you want it, but just get a color that you would like your freckles to be. At first, when this one goes on your skin, it's a good dark brown neutral color, but the more that you splotch it out and transfer it, like by touching it, it comes more orange. So I would recommend getting a darker shade than a lighter shade because just orange fake freckles don't look as good as dark brown ones, even though natural freckles are more orange. You can see by my wrist that this technique is getting some really fine freckles on there and that it's dispersing them very naturally. The next product is a sponge brush from Walmart, and I got a pack of 3 of these for 87 cents. So in an attempt to make this more sporadic and less dense like the sponges, I went ahead and tore a top of it off. And so what I'm doing now is just dipping it in the same foundation that I used for the last technique and just trying to stipple it on my skin. And so right away, this immediately looked like crap. It just looked like I had a dirty face. The freckles were very uniform and they were like boxy in nature, so I was not a fan of this method at all. To give this method benefit of the doubt, I did go ahead and try the other end of the brush, hoping for a different outcome, but sadly it just looked just as bad. Maybe with some more precision, this could have been better, but just in comparison to the other methods I already tried, this method was not worth it. Next, we'll be using the stipple brush by e.l.f. that was $4. So I chose this brush because it was the brush in my kit that was the most sporadic in its bristles, and so it looks decent at first, but just the bristles pick up too much pigment, and so the freckles don't look as freckly as they do dots. And so you can see here what I was talking about with the foundation, how when you spread it out so much it starts to look bright orange, and that's not a good look. Next is the e.l.f. liner in brow cream, which is basically like a pomade or a cream eyeliner, and it was $3.99. So going in with a small angled brush, I am just dotting this on my face after I picked up some of the pigment. And I do like this method because it does allow you to get darker freckles as well as lighter ones depending on like how much pigment you pick up. The only thing is that this seems like a lot of work for me, as you have to pick up the pigment, put it on your face, spread it out, and just do it so much to get so little freckle. Coming next is my top 4 favorite methods that we tried. This is my favorite method because this allowed you to be as natural as possible, being that it just splatters them on your face and you don't bear the burden of having to intricately place them where you want them. My next favorite was the Wet n Wild Mega Liner because the brush is so fine that it does allow you to make really small freckles. My third favorite is the Eyebrow Pen by Wet n Wild because this was just so easy to use. My last favorite was the Maybelline Liquid Eyeliner because I absolutely loved the pigment in this, but you do have to be careful when applying. So here are some photos of the final product using a combination of those methods, primarily the toothbrush and the foundation, as well as the pen and some of the liquid eyeliners to get more dark spots. Like always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe also. Thanks for watching!